Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch another lovely day here in the Ozarks. It's supposed to be a little windy. Fire conditions are still pretty high, and it's still pretty dry. We've had like very minimal precipitation over the last several weeks, which is really unusual now. We're getting into the end of March, and still very little. There is some precipitation supposed to happen later on this week. We'll see how that pans out, but by now we're getting into the real rainy season here, and we haven't, so that's making a lot of people a little nervous around here. Are we in for a really dry year? They're saying that we're going to be above normal temperatures, and we've already seen several 80-degree temperatures so far this year, which again is highly unusual. So something, as someone that tries to produce their own food, gardens and stuff like that, it's going to be important. So we'll be paying attention to that. The Middle East is not really improving at all. The conditions there, the situation, the tensions between the United States and Iran are building. It's interesting on one aspect that the Trump administration keeps going to Russia, trying to build a relationship with Russia, and I think in hopes that Russia will kind of intermediate between the United States and Iran, and it doesn't seem to be happening the way they planned out. Russia has once again reiterated that their relationships, their bonds, their ties with China, North Korea, and Iran are very, very strong. It's like they're constantly trying to send a message that, they know where their allegiances lie. So, and as far as the tensions, there's now 4 aircraft carriers in the Middle East. Not all of them are the United States. 2 of them are U.S. Navy. One's a French and one's an Indian, which all will most likely be against Iran. The French one may be iffy, but the Indian one, they're very strongly supportive of Israel. So if anything goes down, you pretty much know where their allegiances lie. And the tensions are building, and there's this belief that a serious attack could happen soon there. So, and you know what? Here's the thing. I think that there's been a lot of probably propaganda over the years about the Middle East, and some of you have been to the Middle East and served there, and you may have a very different opinion of what the average American thinks goes on in the Middle East. And I think a lot of people think that all the Middle East is just a bunch of camel herding, whatever. And Iran is very different. Iran is Persian. They are, intellectually speaking, their nation has the second highest IQ, I believe, still, of any people in the world. They are very technologically advanced. They have capabilities in some areas that would equal to, if not exceed, the United States. So I wouldn't go so far to say that they would be a formidable foe for the United States, but then again, it's quite possible, especially if they're getting support from Iran and China. So I think that one's, I think if we went to war against Iran, it would be of the same level of difficulty and seriousness, meaning, 2 militaries that are nearly equal, as say World War II with us in Germany. I don't think we've seen a war since then that would compare to going against a somewhat major country. And I know some of you are probably rolling your eyes and laughing and stuff because of in recent months or years that Iran has not shown to be strongly military capable. But the possibility of them developing advanced weapons, nuclear weapons, all that, I think, is very, very real, very possible. And then so that would mean that the possibility of the United States using advanced or nuclear weapons against them would be a real possibility. So things there are tense. And, with the Houthis and the Gaza Strip, with Hamas and Israel, it's all just, it's a big mess. And I still think that that there's a bigger likelihood that World War III will start there than it would in Ukraine with Russia and NATO and stuff. But I could be wrong. I'm wrong once or twice, every once in a while. I want to remind you again that our monthly meeting is this weekend, March 30th. If you want to be there, please do so. We had to take a break last month because we had a big, huge winter storm, with several inches of snow and frigid cold temperatures. So we're picking it back up this month, March 30th. Same time, same place, focusing on spring gardens. So come on out if you can. And then I also want to talk about something that's really not prepper related, I guess. I find interest in it because I have this weird kind of geeky side of me. And I don't know if some of you probably have seen this, maybe some of you haven't. And I'm asking for your input on this. What's your opinion of what I'm about to talk about? So it's come out in the news in the last few days that some scientists have made a huge discovery in Egypt at the Giza pyramids. They used this new technology. It's a type of ground penetrating radar, but it's a little different. And so they did these scans deep underneath the big pyramid, and come to find out there is a massive, at least this is what they're saying. Now, this could all come back, someone else could study it and say, oh, well, wait a minute, they were wrong, they were miscalculated or whatever. But as of right now, officially they're saying that they have discovered massive structures underground beneath the pyramid there. We're talking up to mile and a half deep. Massive structures. Some of you have seen this. It looks like that the pyramid is actually sitting on these big columns, and it appears that these columns may have a spiral staircase leading down several hundred meters under the ground into these large, what looks to be possibly buildings or something, big rooms. We're talking massive rooms. The reason why I bring this up is because the pyramids has always been a kind of a hotbed of conspiracy, and then also potentially biblical. There's a whole lot of debate and discussion of what's going on, and honestly, I believe probably the official narrative of the age and what they did with them and what was there, pretty much the whole official story of the pyramids, I think is pretty much a cover-up. I don't know what they are there. I don't know who built them necessarily. I mean, I know there's the biblical story, but then there's also stuff that's like, man, maybe that wasn't it. I don't know. And it's not necessarily who, but how. Like, were they built? These big, massive, stones, all that kind of stuff. The reason why I bring it up, though, not because necessarily there's the geeky side of me, but because if this proves to be what they say it is, and that they come out and say that there's some kind of aliens, or because that's kind of a prominent theory, it was aliens that did it. Maybe it's giants, Nephilim, gods that came, and all this kind of stuff. There's all these different theories. I think that does play into end times and end time prophecies, because we're getting closer and closer as a people to making these discoveries. For instance, in the last year or two, the government, the media, everything has been very, very open about talking about aliens. My whole life, I'm almost 50. Some of you are older than me, and you'd probably say the same thing. Our whole lives, aliens has been a science fiction in movies and television and books, and the government and the media and everything is always like, oh no, that's not what it is. It's roll their eyes, or they just don't say anything, right? And then all of a sudden now, we've got government hearings and releasing of government classified documents and videos and stuff talking about, well, there's something out there. We don't know what it is, but there's something out there. That with the Egypt thing and these discoveries or it's not even so much discoveries, this admittance finally that there may be something out there. or that there may be some kind of higher power, or that there may be some kind of ancient, mystery that we've kept hidden in all this. I think that plays into it. I don't know exactly how. I think that it plays into the end times prophecies that we read in the Bible, where, whether it's aliens, maybe it's blue beam, or maybe it's Nephilim, or maybe it's demons. They find that because it talks about in the Bible that they start to reveal themselves on earth. Oh no, they're the good guys. Oh no, these are the aliens that started our civilization, millions and millions of years ago. Oh, I don't know, but my gut is telling me that this kind of stuff. And what's interesting with this Egypt thing, I mean, this could be a discovery of the century, because it just compounds the questions of how in the world was it possible for them to build these massive, move these stones that were tens of tons or hundreds of tons, and the distance that they had to move them, and all this kind of stuff. And now we find that there's a city like a mile and a half beneath the surface of it. And how was that possible? How in the world did humans build that a few thousand years ago? So I know this topic is very much an offshoot of homesteading and self-sufficiency, or even the political stuff and the news and stuff that's going on. But I think these kinds of things, because it's more and more of them. There's more and more of the normalization, the acceptance of the supernatural, and the all this kind of stuff. And I don't think we're very far away from the government officially declaring that, yes, there are aliens on another planet, and they visit us, and we to communicate with them, because it fits in this transhumanism. It fits into this new world order that peace is going to come through this outside source, and there's going to eventually be this guy that sits at the throne, and Solomon's throne, and all this kind of stuff. And the aliens, or Nephilim, demons, all that kind of stuff, it all fits. And so I think that we're watching a narrative. I think we're watching a story being revealed to us, and it's leading us down a path. The final destination of this path may not be for years or decades down the road, but I think what we're seeing happen now is starting us down that, because that's how they work. These closed door secret society, meetings and stuff that have been going on for centuries. Things that are happening right now, they may have planned decades ago or over a century ago. And they, generation after generation of them, they guide, society, and guide, global events and stuff, so that it stays in track with their narrative. I think that's what we're seeing. I think the more normalization of aliens flying around in UFOs, and things like this Giza pyramid and stuff, I think it is setting us up on a path, and I don't know exactly how that journey is going to work, but I think that the end result, the end of that path, is going to be what we've read in our Bibles. And so I wanted to point it out, that these things that just seem to randomly happen ever so often, supernatural stuff, alien stuff, going to Mars, these crazy discoveries that we find here on Earth, I think they're all little puzzle pieces that are setting us down a path that eventually some of us, maybe all of us, will see that Scripture is being just profoundly revealed to us right in our face. So tells me that you should get ready. You should get physically ready, prepped up, all that kind of stuff, but really you need to get prayed up. You need to get spiritually ready, because these are not normal times. Folks, get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.